Hi, I decided to just hop on and show you how I'm going to finish off these signs that I started this morning on my Facebook Live. I think it'll be easier if I could just show and tell you rather than try to type it all in. So, if you didn't watch this morning, go back into my page and watch the live from this morning where I created these two travel signs. And then I had the idea of making a faux leather strip here for these words. As you can see, I did it all in black and it doesn't show up very well, which is what I feared. And then I went and had the idea of doing this. So we're going to attach this one here. So I'm going to tell you how I made these, because I also did them for the little travel stickers, right? I also made them, and we're going to attach them to the top half. So the idea was that these two boards are going to hang together and be really cool. So I remember I had made this leather look before last year on a winter design. And if you have been in Couture long enough, perhaps you saved the boards that our cutouts used to come on. Our original set of trees and our original pumpkins came shrink wrapped on these boards, and I love them. And I don't know if you can buy this anywhere else. I tried to look in an art store. It's kind of like a pressed board. They had something, but it wasn't nearly as sturdy as this. But okay, it's got white on one side, which you can paint, or it has this chipboard look on the other side. And this is the side I use. So to cut the strip, I just measure out the size that I want. And then you can take a straight edge ruler and then just hold it down like this. And just do this, score it a few times. And then you can just snap it off. And then I always sand the edges to round the corners a little bit and to smooth off the broken, because it'll be like uneven break. But you can smooth it off, and I just used sandpaper block. And then to get this color from this to this is where I use my distressed inks. And I had this, the set of 4 little inks, but I think I used Vintage Photo. First I do the rusty hinge on it, kind of all over the whole thing and the edges, and then I'll bring in some dimension to it using a darker color. This was Photo Vintage, so any of the browns, but I think it's those two colors combined make this leather color, which I love. So it still has the paper on the one side, and then this really cool, looks like leather, doesn't it? Make sure you do the edges. And I used both colors of ink on them. And we're going to attach that right here. I'm going to use E6000 and hot glue. E6000 is a stronger glue, I believe, even though this is Gorilla Glue Sticks. But the heat gun hot glue will, not heat gun, but hot glue will set it quicker than the E6000. So we're going to put that there. And let's see, yeah, it's ready to go. Let me grab my E6000. So we're just going to center that right over the U, Y-O-U, and put it right there. Could even just raise it up slightly. Right there. Don't get too close to the edge so it doesn't ooze out. Drop a little hot glue. And then right about there. I'm just going to press this down. is the bottom. Like I had these identical frames. They were repurposed signs. And my idea was to hang them together. So this is the other one. And I got these little, the little travel icons. The transfers are all drying over there in the other room, so I can't show you. But they have all these cute little travel ones. And I picked out the ones that have the actual cities on them. And then I did the Visa approved one. But I kind of wanted to overlap them. And so I'm going to use little risers underneath the ones that are raising up to bring them up so it's not laying there crooked. I'm going to bring it up flat. So I cut these out. I kind of scored them down the best I could. And then I actually just used scissors and trimmed around the shapes. And again, using the ink on the edges and getting them to the color that we want. This time I put the distress ink on before I silkscreen printed. And then after I cut them out, then I went around the edges, even after I printed. Because you got to print them to know where to cut them. So I want these like this, but I don't want it to go like this. So I'm going to put a little riser under it. And I'm going to use the trimmings off of what I cut around all the little shapes, and we're just going to kind of lay that underneath to raise it up like that so it's on the same level. So really you just need to make sure you get this in the right place. So I'm just going to add a little piece to the back so they're all on the same level. But you got to make sure, you know, it's in the right place in the background on the underside. So I'm just adding that to that. And then I'll need to do one on the circle. And really, you don't need very much of it. You could just use a little piece. So I'm just going to use little pieces. And then we'll put one towards the top here of this one. So now when I overlap them, they're all on the same plane. Like they're not laying crooked, all right? So let's put the Visa one down first. Get that set. And then we can see where we're going to put New York and Sydney on here, overlapping on top of the Visa. See, and you can see they're going to be on the same level with the little risers underneath them. So let's add some more glue. The Sydney one. So you can see how they are. Isn't that cute? And we're going to do a set of them up here in this corner. So on this one we got the Vancouver, Canada one, the Paris, and Italy. So let's see how those are going to lay. Overlap without covering it up too much. I'm kind of try to keep the same border distance here and here. So kind of watching that. So maybe something like that. So this time, 2 of them are laying flat on the board, and just the Vancouver one is going to have the riser on it. So we can stick this under here like that. Okay. Again, I'm using both E6000 and hot glue. It's gonna look something like this. Okay. Press. And then we already got that one with the little riser on it, so it lays flat. So now we have those on. And that turned out adorable. So my idea was to hang, that these would hang on the wall, something like this, like that. I think they'll look really cool. But they could be sold separate too. This one's neat, like that, or like that. But they're definitely cool as a set, right? So that's my second half of today. I didn't realize I was going to do this until I was working on them. And I thought, I need to do this, but I need to get all the supplies together and cut them out. And because that was going to take a little while. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed watching today's lives. Like I said, I did the signs earlier today on the live, and then finishing up right here. So there's part 1 and part 2. So check them out. Thanks for chalking with me. Have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.